Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life. Written by Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles. Translated by Heather Cleary. Read by Walter Dixon. Chapter 5. Masters of Longevity. Words of wisdom from the longest living people in the world. When we started working on this audiobook, we didn't want to just research the factors that contribute to a long and happy life. We wanted to hear from the true masters of this art. The interviews we conducted in Okinawa merit their own chapter, but in the section that precedes it, we've provided an overview of the life philosophies of a few international champions of longevity. We're talking about super centenarians, people who live to 110 years of age or more. The term was coined in 1970 by Norris McWhirter, editor of the Guinness Book of World Records. Its use became more widespread in the 1990s after it appeared in William Strauss and Neil Howe's Generations. Today, there are an estimated 300 to 450 super centenarians in the world, although the age of only around 75 of them has been confirmed. They aren't superheroes, but we could see them as such for having spent far more time on this planet than the average life expectancy would predict. Given the rise in life expectancy around the world, the number of supercentenarians might also increase. A healthy and purposeful life could help us join their ranks. Let's take a look at what a few of them have to say. Misao Okawa, 117. Eat and sleep, and you'll live a long time. You have to learn to relax. According to the Gerontology Research Group, until April 2015, the oldest living person in the world was Misao Okawa, who passed away in a care facility in Osaka, Japan after living for 117 years, 27 days. The daughter of a textile merchant, she was born in 1898, when Spain lost its colonies in Cuba and the Philippines, and the United States annexed Hawaii and launched Pepsi-Cola. Until she was 110, this woman, who lived in 3 different centuries, cared for herself unassisted. When specialists asked about her self-care routine, Misao answered simply, eating sushi and sleeping, to which we should add, having a tremendous thirst for life. When they inquired about her secret for longevity, she answered with a smile, I ask myself the same thing. Proof that Japan continues to be a factory of long life. In July of the same year, Sakari Momoi passed away at 112 years and 150 days old. At the time, he was the oldest man in the world, though he was younger than 57 women. Maria Capovilla, 116. I've never eaten meat in my life. Born in Ecuador in 1889, Maria Capovilla was recognized by Guinness as the world's oldest person. She died of pneumonia in 2006 at 116 years and 347 days old, leaving behind 3 children, 12 grandchildren, and 20 great and great-great-grandchildren. She gave one of her last interviews at age 107, sharing her memories and her thoughts. I'm happy, and I give thanks to God who keeps me going. I never thought I'd live so long. I thought I'd die long ago. My husband, Antonio Capovilla, was the captain of a ship. He passed away at 84. We had 2 daughters and a son, and now I have many grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Things were better back in the old days. People behaved better. We used to dance, but we were more restrained. There was this one song I loved dancing to, Maria by Luis Alarcón. I still remember most of the words. I also remember many prayers and say them every day. I like the waltz and can still dance it. I also still make crafts. I do some of the things I did when I was in school. When she had finished recalling her past, she began to dance, one of her great passions, with an energy that made her seem decades younger. When asked about her secret for longevity, she responded simply, I don't know what the secret to long life is. The only thing I do is, I've never eaten meat in my life. I attribute it to that. Jean Calment, 122. Everything's fine. Born in Arles, France, in February 1875, Jean Calment lived until August 4, 1997, making her, at 122, the oldest person of verified age in history. She jokingly said that she competed with Methuselah, and there is no question that she broke numerous records as she went on celebrating birthdays. She died of natural causes at the end of a happy life, during which she denied herself almost nothing. She rode a bicycle until she turned 100. She lived on her own until 110, when she agreed to move into a nursing home after accidentally starting a small fire in her apartment. She stopped smoking at 120 when her cataracts started making it hard for her to bring a cigarette to her lips. One of her secrets may have been her sense of humor. As she said on her 120th birthday, "I see badly, I hear badly, and I feel bad, but everything's fine." Walter Bruning, 114. If you keep your mind and body busy, you'll be around a long time. Born in Minnesota in 1896, Walter Bruning was able to see 3 centuries in his lifetime. He died in Montana in 2011 from natural causes. He'd had 2 wives and a 50-year career on the railroad. At 83, he retired to an assisted living center in Montana, where he remained until his death. He is the 2nd oldest man of verified age ever born in the United States. He gave many interviews in his final years, insisting that his longevity stemmed from, among other things, his habit of eating only 2 meals per day and working for as many hours as he could. "Your mind and your body, you keep both busy," he said on his 112th birthday. "You'll be here a long time." Back then, he was still exercising every day. Among Bruning's other secrets, he had a habit of helping others, and he wasn't afraid of dying. As he declared in a 2010 interview with the Associated Press, "We're all going to die. Some people are scared of dying. Never be afraid to die, because you're born to die." Before passing away in 2011, he is said to have told a pastor that he'd made a deal with God. If he wasn't going to get better, it was time to go. Alexander Emich, 111. I just haven't died yet. Born in Poland in 1903, Alexander Emich was a chemist and parapsychologist residing in the United States who, after the death of his predecessor in 2014, became the oldest man of authenticated age in the world. Emich himself died a year thereafter, in June of that year, leaving behind a long life rich with experiences. Emich attributed his longevity to, among other things, never drinking alcohol. "It's not as though I'd won the Nobel Prize," he said upon being declared the world's oldest man. "I never thought I'd get to be so old." When asked about his secret to living so long, his answer was, "I don't know. I just haven't died yet." Ikigai artists. The secret to long life, however, is not held by supercentenarians alone. There are many people of advanced age who, though they haven't made it into Guinness World Records, offer us inspiration and ideas for bringing energy and meaning to our lives. Artists, for example, who carry the torch of their Ikigai instead of retiring, have this power. Art, in all its forms, is an Ikigai that can bring happiness and purpose to our days. Enjoying or creating beauty is free, and something all human beings have access to. Hokusai, the Japanese artist who made woodblock prints in the ukiyo-e style and lived for 88 years, from the mid-18th to the mid-19th century, added this postscript to the first edition of his 100 Views of Mount Fuji. "All that I have produced before the age of 70 is not worth being counted. It is at the age of 73 that I have somewhat begun to understand the structure of true nature, of animals and grasses, and trees and birds, and fishes and insects. Consequently, at 80 years of age, I shall have made still more progress. At 90, I hope to have penetrated into the mystery of things. At 100 years of age, I should have reached decidedly a marvelous degree. And when I shall be 110, all that I do, every point and every line, shall be instinct with life." Following is our collection of some of the most inspirational words from artists interviewed by Camille Sweeney for the New York Times. Of those still living, none have retired, and all still enjoy their passion, which they plan to pursue until their final breath, demonstrating that when you have a clear purpose, no one can stop you. The actor Christopher Plummer, still working at 86, reveals a dark desire shared by many who love the profession. We want to drop dead on stage. That would be a nice, theatrical way to go. Osamu Tezuka, the father of modern Japanese manga, shared this feeling. Before he died in 1989, his last words as he drew one final cartoon were, "Please, just let me work." The 86-year-old filmmaker Frederick Wiseman declared on a stroll through Paris that he likes to work, which is why he does it with such intensity. "Everybody complains about the aches and pains and all that, but my friends are either dead or are still working," he said. Carmen Herrera, a painter who just entered her 100th year, sold her first canvas at 89. Today, her work is in the permanent collections of the Tate Modern and the Museum of Modern Art. When asked how she viewed her future, she responded, "I am always waiting to finish the next thing. Absurd, I know. I go day by day." Never stop learning. You may grow old and trembling in your anatomies. You may lie awake at night listening to the disorder of your veins. You may miss your only love. You may see the world about you devastated by evil lunatics, or know your honor trampled in the sewers of baser minds. There is only one thing for it then: to learn. Learn why the world wags and what wags it. That is the only thing which the mind can never exhaust, never alienate, never be tortured by, never fear or distrust, and never dream of regretting. T.H. White, the once and future king. For his part, naturalist and author Edward O. Wilson asserted, "I feel I have enough experience to join those who are addressing big questions. About 10 years ago, when I began reading and thinking more broadly about the questions of what are we, where did we come from, and where are we going, I was astonished at how little this was being done." Ellsworth Kelly, an artist who passed away in 2015 at the age of 92, assured us that the idea that we lose our faculties with age is, in part, a myth, because instead we develop a greater clarity and capacity for observation. It's one thing about getting older: you see more. Every day, I'm continuing to see new things. That's why there are new paintings. At age 86, the architect Frank Gehry reminds us that some buildings can take 7 years, from the time you're hired until you're finished, a fact that favors a patient attitude with regard to the passage of time. The man responsible for the Guggenheim Museum Bilbao, however, knows how to live in the here and now. You stay in your time. You don't go backward. I think if you relate to the time you're in, you keep your eyes and ears open, read the paper, see what's going on, stay curious about everything, you will automatically be in your time. Longevity in Japan. Because of its robust civil registry, many of those verified as having lived the longest are found in the United States. However, there are many centenarians living in remote villages in other countries. A peaceful life in the countryside seems pretty common among people who have watched a century pass. Without question, the international superstar of longevity is Japan, which has the highest life expectancy of any country in the world. In addition to a healthy diet, which we will explore in detail, and an integrated healthcare system in which people go to the doctor for regular checkups to prevent disease, longevity in Japan is closely tied to its culture, as we'll see later on. The sense of community and the fact that Japanese people make an effort to stay active until the very end are key elements of their secret to long life. If you want to stay busy even when there's no need to work, there has to be an Ikigai on your horizon, a purpose that guides you throughout your life and pushes you to make things of beauty and utility for the community and yourself.